all the presents, and the lights, and the delicious food. I just wait.
What else, Rachel?
What do you mean, what else?
There's more to Christmas than just presents and food and toys.
What more could we possibly want, right?
You know, you sound a lot like one of my very good friends. I actually had the opportunity to interview him, and I wrote a book, and I think you're really going to enjoy it, by the early informative.
How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
Exactly. Every Who down in Whoville likes Christmas a lot.
But the Grinch, who lived just north of Whoville, did not.
The Grinch hated Christmas.
The whole Christmas season.
But now, please, don't ask why. No one quite knows the reason.
Well, now, it could be that his head wasn't screwed on quite right.
It could be perhaps that his shoes were too tight.
But I think the most likely reason of all is that his heart was 2 sizes too small.
But whatever the reason, his heart or his shoes, he stood there on Christmas Eve hating the Who, staring down from his cave with a sour, grinchy frown as the warm light of winter looked up his town.
For he knew every Who down in Whoville beneath was busy now hanging a mistletoe wreath.
And they're hanging their stockings.
He snarled with a sneer.
Tomorrow is Christmas. It's practically here.
Then he growled, with his Grinch fingers nervously drumming.
I must find a way to keep Christmas from coming.
For tomorrow he knew all the Who girls and boys would wake bright and early.
They'd rush for their toys.
And then open noise.
Oh, the noise. Noise. That's one thing he hated.
Oh, the noise!
Then the Who, young and old, would sit down to a feast.
And they'd feast.
And they'd feast.
And they big!
They would feast on Who pudding and rare Who roast beef.
But something the Grinch couldn't stand.
And then they do something he liked least of all. Every Who down in Whoville, the tall and the small, would stand close together with Christmas bells ringing.
They'd stand hand in hand.
And the Who's would start singing! Why, for 53 years I've put up with it now. I must find a way to keep Christmas from coming. But how?
Then he got an idea.
An awful idea.
The Grinch got a wonderful, awful idea.
I know just what to do.
The Grinch laughed, and he made a quick Santa Claus hat and a coat. And he chuckled and clucked.
What a great Grinchy trick. With this hat and this coat, I'll look just like St. Nick. All I need is a reindeer.
The Grinch looked around, but since reindeer were scarce, there were none to be found.
Did that stop the old Grinch?
No, the Grinch simply said,
If I can't find a reindeer, I'll make one instead.
So he called his dog Max. Then he took some red thread and he tied a big horn on the top of his head.
Then he loaded some bags and some old empty sacks. On a ramshackle sleigh he hitched up old Max.
Then the Grinch said,
Giddy up!
And the sleigh started down towards the home where the Who's lay asleep in their town.
all the windows were dark.
White snow filled the air.
All the Who's were dreaming sweet dreams without care. When he came to the first house in the square,
This is stop number one.
The old Grinchy clawed it, and he climbed to the roof, empty bags in his fist.
then he slid down the chimney, a rather tight pinch. But if Santa could do it, then so could the Grinch.
He got stuck only once. For a minute or two. Then he stuck his head out of the fireplace flue where the little hoop stocking fell hung in a row.
These stockings.
He grinned.
I'm perfect to go.
Then he slithered and slunk. With a smile smoke, unpleasant, around the whole room, and he took every present.
Bicycles.
Roller skates.
Drones
Tricycles. Popcorn.
and plums.
No.
And he stuffed them in bags. Then the Grinch very nimbly stuffed all the bags, one by one, up the chimney.
Then he slunk to the icebox.
He took the Who's feast.
He took the hoop pudding.
He took the Who cheese.
He cleaned out that icebox as quick as a flash. Why, that Grinch even took their last can of Who hats.
Then he stuffed all the food up the chimney with glee.
And now,
Grinned the Grinch.
I will stuff up the tree.
And the Grinch grabbed the tree, and he started to shove, when he heard a small sound, like this.
He turned around fast and saw a small Who, little Cindy Lou, who was not more than 2.
The Grinch had been caught by this little Who daughter, who had got out of bed for a cup of cold water.
She stared at the Grinch and said,
Santa Claus? Why? Why do you take from our Christmas tree? Why?
But you know, that old Grinch was so smart and so slick. He thought of a lie, and he thought it up quick.
Why, my sweet little tot.
the fake Santa Claus lie.
There is a light on this tree that won't light on one side, so I'm taking it home to my workshop, my dear. I'll fix it up there, and I'll bring it back here.
And this fooled the child.
Then he patted her head, got her a drink, and he sent her to bed.
And when Cindy Lou Who went to bed with her cup, he went to the chimney and stuffed the tree up.
Then the last thing he took was the log for their fire. Then he went up the chimney himself, the old liar. On their wall, he left nothing but some hooks and some wire.
And the one speck of food that he left in the house was a crust, even too small for a mouse.
What the? Then he did the same thing to all the other Who's houses, leaving crumbs much too small for the other Who's mouths. Girl, this is all he left us.
Girl, I don't need this. My man got 2 jobs.
It was 12:15. All the Who's still in bed. All the Who's still asleep. When
Christmas is coming, I know just what they'll do. Their mouths will hang open a minute or two. Then, all the Who's down in Whoville will all cry, boo-hoo! That's the noise.
Grinned the Grinch.
Glad I simply must hear.
And so he paused,
And the Grinch put a hand to his ear.
and he heard a sound rising over the snow. Why, it started low.
Then it started to grow.
But the sound wasn't that.
Why, this sound sounded merry.
It couldn't be so.
But it was merry, very.
He stared down at himself. The Grinch popped his eyes.
Then he shook. What he saw was a shocking surprise.
Every Who down in Whoville, the tall and the small, was singing without any presents at all. He hadn't stopped Christmas from coming. It came.
Somehow or other, it came just the same.
And the Grinch, with his Grinch feet, ice cold in the snow, stood puzzling and puzzling.
How can it be so? It came without ribbons, it came without tags, it came without packages, boxes, or bags!
And he puzzled 3 hours till his puzzler was sore.
And then the Grinch thought of something he hadn't before.
Maybe Christmas
He thought,
doesn't come from a store. Maybe Christmas perhaps means a little bit more.
And what happened then?
well, in Whoville they say that the Grinch's small heart grew 3 sizes that day.
And the minute his heart didn't feel quite so tight, he whizzed with his boat through the bright wonderland. And hungry for their feet.
And then he himself, the Grinch, carved the roast beef.